The message from the stars. Jason sat alone in his quiet apartment, staring at the night sky through his window. He always wondered about the stars, not because they were pretty, but because they had stolen something from him. 30 years ago, his parents disappeared on a deep space mission. Scientists, explorers, and dreamers. They left Earth when he was just 5 years old. He had no memory of their faces, only the echo of their names in government files. The ship they traveled in vanished near the edge of an uncharted system. Jason never got closure until today. A strange signal. His desk computer beeped. Jason leaned forward, expecting another boring update, but what he saw made him freeze. Incoming transmission and source unknown. Signal age, 29.8 years. His heart skipped a beat. Impossible, he whispered. The screen flickered. Static. Then, an image, a woman's face, tired, but kind. Her voice was shaky, soft. If this reaches anyone, especially you, Jason, I pray you're grown now. We left something behind, something important, a message, a bond. Go to planet HFY, Sector 7H, find her, protect her. The screen went black. Jason stared for a long time, hands trembling. That was his mother, no doubt. And her? Who was she talking about? Memories and promises. Jason walked to the old storage chest near his bed. Inside were the only things he had. From his parents, a photo, a folded star map, and a small locket. He opened the locket. Inside was a tiny voice chip. He had played it 1,000 times, but today, it felt different. Jason, no matter where you are, always follow the stars. They'll bring you home. He closed his eyes. That word again, home. But Earth never felt like home. It felt like a place he had waited too long in. Now, he had a destination. Preparing for the journey, Jason wasn't a soldier. He wasn't a pilot. But he had spent his life learning, training in mechanics, xenolinguistics, and survival. Maybe deep down, he always knew this day would come. He sold what he didn't need. Bought passage on a cargo ship headed near Sector 7H, then transferred to a survey vessel going toward the EOS system. It took 3 weeks in stasis sleep. When he woke up, the stars outside the window looked different, brighter, closer, like they knew something he didn't. HFY appeared on the screen, green forests, deep blue waters, and golden skies, but no signs of civilization. The landing. The shuttle dropped through the clouds. Jason's heart raced as the ship touched the ground near a small lake surrounded by tall trees. Strange birds flew overhead. The air smelled like fruit and salt. He stepped out slowly. It felt peaceful. But then he saw it. Footprints in the mud. Not human. Still. Small. Delicate. Careful. Jason followed them into the trees, moving quietly. The jungle wasn't loud, but it wasn't silent either. It breathed. Every sound seemed to whisper a welcome and a warning. The watchers. He passed a tree. With glowing leaves, Jason froze. Someone was watching him. He turned slowly and saw her. A girl. Maybe his age. Tall, graceful. Her skin shimmered faint blue under the sunlight. Her eyes glowed softly like the planet's sky. Her clothes were simple, made from the forest itself. She looked both alien and familiar. She stepped forward. Jason raised his hands. I'm not here to hurt you, he said. The girl tilted her head, studied his face. Then she said something that shook him. Jason. He took a step back. How do you know my name? She looked into his eyes, calm and sure. Because I've known you all my life. Jason stared at her, confused. Who are you? The girl stepped closer. Her voice was soft, but clear. I'm your sister. Shock and silence. Jason couldn't speak, couldn't move. The world tilted. His sister? No, it wasn't possible. He had no sister. Or did he? His mother's message. Protect her. The signal from 30 years ago. This girl. This planet. Everything fit. and didn't fit at all. He looked at her, really looked, and somewhere deep in his heart, he felt it. She wasn't lying. She wasn't a trick. She was family. And the girl who knew his name. Jason stood still, heart pounding. He didn't blink. The alien girl stood only a few feet away, her eyes locked onto his. She looked so calm, while he felt like the world had turned upside down. "Sister," he whispered. She nodded. "My name is Lyra," she said softly, her voice light like wind over water. Jason felt a chill run through his body. He stepped back and almost tripped over a root. "This can't be. I don't have a sister. I never had one." Lyra tilted her head. Her eyes weren't just glowing, they looked sad. "You did," she said. "You just didn't know." Echoes. From the past, Jason's thoughts were spinning. Was she lying? Was this a trap? But something about her felt real, familiar, like she belonged in a memory just out of reach. "I got a message," Jason finally said. "From my mother. From our mother. She told me to find someone." Lyra nodded again. "She was kind, brave. She saved me." Jason sat down on a rock, breathing hard. "You knew her?" "I knew both of them," Lyra said, sitting across from him. "Your mother and father, they created me, they loved you and they loved me." Jason stared at her. "What are you?" "The truth in the treehouse." Lyra stood up. "Come, I will show you." She walked deeper into the forest, barefoot, her steps light and quiet. Jason followed, still confused, still scared, but curious. They reached a hidden treehouse, built high among giant alien trees. It looked human in design. Metal frames, solar panels. But vines had grown around it, making it part of the forest. Inside it was clean, simple, quiet. There were pictures on the wall. Jason's parents, a baby girl, a baby alien girl, and a small boy. Him. Lyra pointed. "They left this for me, so I would remember who I am. And one day, find you." A creation of two worlds. She sat near a glowing screen and pressed a button. Recording began to play. Jason saw his parents' faces. They were older than he remembered in the photos. His mother was holding the alien baby, Lyra. "Jason," she said into the camera, "this is Lyra. She's your sister. We used advanced genetic science, combined human and alien DNA, to give you someone who would always be connected to you. This planet is safer for her. You were taken back to Earth, but she stayed. If you see this, it means she survived." Jason blinked. No way. That's impossible. The feelings. He couldn't fight. Jason walked outside, the treehouse, looking at the stars. His head hurt. His heart ached. Lyra followed him quietly. "I don't want to believe this," he said. "I want it to be a mistake." She nodded. "I understand. I mean, look at you. You're not even human." Lyra looked down. "No, I'm not. Not fully. But I am part of you." Jason looked at her again. Her face, her voice, the kindness in her eyes. He couldn't deny it anymore. She wasn't a stranger. She was his, stronger than blood. "I remember when I was little," Jason said. "I used to dream I had a sister. I thought it was just a dream." Lyra smiled softly. "It wasn't." He sat down, letting the truth sink in. "You lived here alone all these years?" Lyra nodded. "Yes. The forest raised me. I had books, videos, but I always waited for you." Jason looked at her, tears in his eyes. "I'm sorry it took so long." She touched his hand. "You came. That's what matters." The storm is coming. Suddenly, thunder rolled through the sky. Dark clouds were moving fast over the horizon. Lyra looked up. "We have to go inside. Something is coming." Jason followed her back into the shelter. As they closed the door, Jason asked, "What kind of storm is that?" Lyra looked at him with worry. Not a storm, a ship. Jason's eyes widened. Someone else has come to find me? The forgotten past. The sound of engines roared faintly above the clouds. Jason and Lyra sat together inside the treehouse, their eyes locked on the sky through a narrow window. The air felt heavy with more than just humidity. It carried fear. Questions? Secrets? Jason turned to Lyra. Tell me everything. I want to know the truth. From the beginning. Lyra nodded slowly and walked toward a small storage box in the corner. From it, she pulled a dusty hollow journal. His mother's. The journal of Dr. Elena Ward. She placed the device on the table and pressed a small button. A glowing image appeared in the air. Dr. Elena Ward, Jason's mother, speaking with quiet urgency. If you're hearing this, then everything we feared has happened. My name is Dr. Elena Ward. My husband, Peter, and I were part of the EOS initiative, an off-Earth genetic project meant to build harmony between species. We created Lyra from human and Eosian DNA. She is our daughter, Jason's sister, a symbol of peace. But when the government discovered our work, they wanted to use her. They said she was property, a weapon. We refused, we ran. Jason, we sent you back to Earth for your safety, but Lyra, she was too special, too connected to this world. We hid her here. Jason couldn't move. The voice, the face, the pain. It was all real. Memories from the forest. Lyra turned the page of a handwritten book, a mix of English and alien symbols. I remember when I was small, she said softly. Our mother sang to me. She told me I would meet you one day. She said we were connected by something more than blood. Jason looked at her. But why did they never come back? Lyra's expression turned distant. They tried. But something happened. One night I woke up, and they were gone. She pointed to a star-shaped pendant hanging on the wall. All they left was this message, and this place. The weight of truth. Jason stood, pacing. So you've lived here alone for 30 years? Lyra nodded. I had the forest. I learned to listen to it. I watched the stars every night. I always believed you'd come. I needed to believe. Jason felt a lump in his throat. He looked down at his hands, at the hands of a brother who didn't even know he had a sister. You didn't deserve this, he said. Any of it. Neither of them spoke for a moment. Then Jason asked, what else do you know about those people? The ones who wanted to take you? Lyra's voice dropped. Only that they were powerful, and they never stopped searching. The present danger outside. The wind picked up. Leaves rustled violently. Jason moved to the window. Through the trees, he could see a flash of metal in the distance. A ship landing near the lake. Lyra's hands trembled. They found me. Jason clenched his jaw. We're not letting them take you. She looked at him. You can't fight them, Jason. They're from Earth. Military-grade equipment, trained men. You'll get hurt. Jason's face hardened. Then I'll get hurt protecting my sister. Unseen powers. Lyra touched the side of her neck and winced. A faint glow pulsed under her skin. What's wrong? Jason asked. My body. It reacts to the forest. It's part of me. I can feel something stirring inside. Like the planet itself is warning me. Jason stared. Are you saying you're connected to this planet? Lyra nodded. Yes. It's like I belong to it. And now it's waking up. Outside, the forest suddenly went quiet. Too quiet. The return of the past. A loud knock echoed on the treehouse wall. Not a knock, a scanner. A voice from below shouted, This is Commander Reese. We're here for the hybrid. Do not resist. Jason reached for a metal rod leaning near the doorway. He didn't care if he was outnumbered, but Lyra grabbed his arm. No, she said. Let me try something first. She stepped outside, hands raised. Jason followed her, his heart pounding. Face to face, 3 men in black armor stood at the bottom of the treehouse steps. Their weapons were lowered but ready. The leader stepped forward, a tall man with sharp eyes and a cold voice. "You're coming with us," he said to Lyra. "I'm not a thing," she replied calmly. "I'm not your experiment, I'm a person." The man smirked. "You're a project that escaped. Earth has questions. You don't get a choice." Jason stepped in front of her. "You'll have to go through me." The man laughed. "Who are you?" Jason stared him down. "I'm her brother." The first real bond, Jason didn't flinch. The armed men at the base of the treehouse stared him down, but he stood tall between them and Lyra. "I'm her brother," he repeated, his voice firm. Commander Reese, the leader of the squad, narrowed. His eyes. "She's government property, not family." Lyra stepped beside Jason. "You'll never understand what I am. I was made from hope, not for war." Commander Reese lifted a hand, signaling to the others. "Secure her. Don't damage her. The scientists want her alive." As the soldiers stepped forward, Lyra closed her eyes. The wind stopped. The trees shook. Then something strange happened. The planet awakens. The leaves around them lit up in blue veins. Glowing vines slithered down from branches above. The ground pulsed with light, as if the forest itself was alive. Jason stumbled backward, stunned. "What's going on?" Lyra stood perfectly still. Her hands were outstretched, her eyes glowing brighter than ever. "This planet knows I'm in danger," she whispered. Suddenly, vines shot out and wrapped around the soldiers' weapons. Roots broke the soil and coiled around their boots. The men screamed, caught off guard. Commander Reese fired into the air. "Fall back, what is this?" Jason watched as the forest protected them, not with rage, but with purpose, escaping the soldiers. "Come on," Lyra shouted, grabbing Jason's hand. They ran through the glowing forest, the trees parting as they moved. It was like the planet was guiding them, helping them escape. Behind them, the soldiers cut at vines and cursed through their comms. "We lost visual. Target is mobile." Jason and Lyra reached a hidden cave behind a waterfall. Inside, it was quiet, safe. The stone walls were smooth and slightly warm. Jason collapsed on a rock, out of breath. "What was that?" Lyra knelt beside him, her breathing calm. "This planet listens to me. It always has. But this was the first time. It protected me in front of you." Jason looked at her, awe in his eyes. "You're not just connected to it. You're part of it." A moment of peace. For the first time since he landed, Jason felt something he hadn't expected. Peace. They sat together in silence. Drops of water echoed in the cave. The world outside was still hunting them, but inside this moment they were just two siblings trying to understand one another. "You risked your life for me," Lyra said. "You're my sister," Jason replied. "That's what brothers do." She smiled. "Even if I'm half alien?" He chuckled. "Especially because you're half alien. Makes you cooler than me." Lyra laughed quietly. It was soft and sad at the same time. "I never thought this day would come." Jason leaned back against the stone. "Me neither. But now that we're here, I'm not letting them take you." The past comes alive. Lyra took a deep breath. "There's something else I haven't told you." Jason looked over. "What is it?" She reached into a small pouch on her belt and pulled out a metal disc. "I found this years ago. It was left by our father. I never played it because I was afraid." Jason took the disc, looked at it, and placed it into a small slot on his multi-tool. A hologram blinked to life. Their father appeared. Older, worn, but smiling. "Lyra, Jason, if you're watching this, it means you found each other. We always hoped that day would come. You two are our legacy, not our science, not our work. You must protect each other. Because together, you're more than what anyone can control." The message ended. Neither of them spoke. Jason's eyes welled with tears. Lyra reached out and held his hand. For the first time, they truly felt like family. A new plan. We can't keep running, Jason said. No, Lyra agreed. They'll never stop. Jason stood. Then we fight back. But not just with weapons. We fight with truth. If the world saw what we saw, what you really are, they wouldn't call you a threat. Lyra looked uncertain. You really think they'll listen? Jason smiled. If not, I'll make them. The chase resumes suddenly a deep hum filled the cave. A light shined from the tunnel behind them. They found us, Lyra whispered. Jason pulled out his tool belt. Then let's show them what happens when a brother and sister stand together. When they strike together, the glow from the tunnel grew brighter. Jason and Lyra stood side by side inside the cave, facing the soft rumble of boots and power gear approaching. The soldiers were coming again. This time they wouldn't hesitate. Jason tightened the grip on his utility staff, while Lyra placed her glowing palm against the cave wall. The rock pulsed under her fingers. The planet responded. The cave will hold for now, she said quietly. But not for long. Jason nodded. Then we make them regret ever stepping on this world. The plan, they crouched near the back exit of the cave. Jason unrolled a rough map of the area, drawn by Lyra's hand from memory. He pointed at a narrow ravine. We'll lead them here. It's tight and deep. If we jam their tech and trap them between the vines and the ridge, they'll be stuck, Lyra finished. No clear signal, no backup. Jason looked at her with a grin. Exactly. And while they're stuck, we use the comms to broadcast the truth. Lyra hesitated. But who will believe it? They don't have to believe right away. They just have to see you. Not as a weapon, not as an alien, but as someone worth protecting. The chase begins. The cave rumbled as explosions echoed from outside. They're breaking in, Jason yelled. They ran through the back tunnels, natural paths carved by ancient water. Lyra led with silent feet, glowing strands of hair catching the dim light. As they emerged into the forest, the ground lit up with bioluminescent roots. Trees whispered in their alien language. Birds flew upward, sensing danger. Jason turned to Lyra. Let them follow us. She sent out a soft signal, one the trees carried like wind. Moments later, sensors picked up movement. Target has escaped. The cave. A soldier's voice crackled through static. Lock on, barked Commander Reese. Pursue. The trap is set. Jason and Lyra reached the ravine. Thick vines crossed the stone bridge. Below, mist covered sharp rocks. Lyra knelt and touched the ground. The vines began to twist and strengthen. Jason activated a signal jammer he had built from broken drones and forest tech. The comms fizzled. Then, boots thundered on the ground behind them. The first soldier stepped onto the bridge. Jason waved his arms. Hey, looking for us? The soldier raised his weapon, but the bridge beneath him came alive. Vines wrapped around his legs, yanked him back, and flung him into the ravine wall. Others panicked and backed away. Commander Reese appeared at the ridge. Do not retreat. That's an order. Jason shouted across. You're not taking her, not now, not ever. Reese pointed a weapon at him. Then, Lyra stepped forward. She raised both hands. The trees around them shimmered, and a wave of energy spread out from her body. It wasn't destructive. It was beautiful. The truth broadcast. Jason connected the portable projector to the jammer. Signal ready, he said. Your message, your way. Lyra stepped into the hologram's light. She spoke with calm strength. My name is Lyra Ward. I was born from Earth and Eos Kai. I am not your enemy. I am not a secret or a weapon. I am someone's daughter. Someone's sister. I am life, just like you, Jason whispered. Now send it. He tapped the transmitter. The message launched skyward, bouncing between satellites and relay stations. It reached Earth, and it started a storm. The reaction on Earth across labs, military screens, and public terminals, the broadcast appeared. People watched in silence. A hybrid girl, speaking like a human, standing in nature, calm and unafraid. Some were angry, some were afraid, but most were curious. She's not what they told us, one scientist whispered. Is that Jason Ward? Asked a journalist. The missing child? The story spread faster than the soldiers could stop it, and back on the planet, the Turning Point commander Reese lowered his weapon. You think this changes anything? He growled. You think they'll just accept you? Lyra looked at him with steady eyes. I don't need their acceptance. I just needed them to see me. Jason stood beside her. We're not hiding anymore. Suddenly Reese's comms sparked back to life. Commander, and stand down, said a high-ranking voice. What? Why? Orders from the Pentagon. This operation is over. Return immediately. Reese stared, stunned. Lyra whispered. They saw me. The world watches. The forest was quiet now. The soldiers had left. Commander Reese and his men were gone, ordered to withdraw. The broadcast had changed everything. Lyra stood under the alien sky looking up, eyes shimmering like twin stars. Jason sat beside her on a rock, still gripping his multi-tool. They had survived. But now, the whole galaxy knew. The reaction on Earth. The video of Lyra spread across every channel, news outlets, social media, government forums. People argued, cried, yelled, whispered. Is she real? She's a hybrid? She's beautiful, and she speaks just like us. World leaders held emergency meetings. Scientists reviewed old files. People lit candles and left flowers. At the space agency gates, one girl posted online. She's not a threat. She's a mirror. We're afraid because she reminds us of what we could become. The world was no longer the same. A call from the past. Jason's communicator beeped. He looked at the screen. His eyes widened. It read, incoming message, Pentagon. Should I answer it? He asked, unsure. Lyra nodded. It's time. He pressed the button. A woman in a navy blue suit appeared on the hologram. Her voice was calm but serious. Jason, my name is General Hart. I'm with Earth Strategic Command. You've caused a global event. Jason replied calmly. We didn't mean to. We just wanted to be heard. Hart nodded. And you were, loud and clear. She paused before saying, we want to talk. With both of you, peacefully. No weapons, no traps. Jason turned to Lyra. What do you think? Lyra looked at the stars. Maybe. It's time to stop hiding. Preparing to leave. They packed supplies and downloaded the treehouse's memories into a small cube. Lyra stood silently by a carved wooden figure. It looked like a mix of human and alien features. She touched it one last time. This place raised me, protected me, but I can't stay here forever. Jason gently rested a hand on her shoulder. We'll come back. Someday. They walked to the old launch pod hidden near the valley. Jason had reprogrammed it. It wasn't built for two, but they would make it work. As they strapped in, Lyra asked, what if they don't accept me? Jason smiled. Then I'll remind them. They already accepted me, and I'm half of you. Arrival. In orbit, the pod shot through the atmosphere, flames licking the windows. Lyra had never left the planet. She held Jason's hand tightly, her knuckles pale. As they reached orbit, the view outside became clear. Earth shone blue and bright. Her eyes widened. It's beautiful, she whispered. Jason looked at her. Just like you. The ship docked with an orbital station. Military guards waited, but no weapons were raised. Only eyes wide in wonder. As Lyra stepped out, cameras zoomed in. News alerts exploded across the globe. The alien girl arrives. Jason Ward returns from the dead. First hybrid child to speak to Earth. Meeting the world inside. A white hall, the president of Earth's United Nations stood before them. We don't know what to say, he admitted. Lyra stepped forward. You don't have to say anything. Just listen. She shared her story, how the forest raised her, how the planet protected her, how her parents left messages, how Jason came for her. She spoke of loneliness, of hope, of the moment she knew she was not alone anymore. Jason stood beside her, silent but proud. When she finished, the entire room was silent. Then, applause. Not loud, but real. The offer General Hart approached them afterward. "You've changed history. There's no going back now," Jason asked. "What happens next?" She looked at Lyra. "We want to protect you, study you, but only with your permission." Lyra raised an eyebrow. "I'm not a test subject." Hart smiled. "No, you're a teacher. If you're willing, help us learn. Help us become more." Lyra looked to Jason. He nodded. "Together," she said, "we will." A new kind of family weeks passed. Earth was different now. Not broken, just more aware. News stations no longer ran stories of fear, but of curiosity. Debates filled the airwaves. Was Lyra a sign of hope or a warning? But through it all, she stood calm, and Jason stood beside her. Their new home, Jason and Lyra, were given a quiet home on the edge of the global peace campus. A new base created not for war, but for learning, healing, and connection. It was filled with scientists, translators, students, and dreamers from every nation. Lyra walked the gardens each morning. Plants from her alien forest had been brought in, growing beside Earth's roses and sunflowers. "It smells different here," she said one morning, breathing deep. Jason smiled. "That's because it smells like a beginning." Teaching the next generation, Lyra began speaking at schools and space academies. At first, students stared in silence. But then, they leaned forward. They listened. She told them stories of singing, trees, glowing rivers, planets that spoke, and emotions too big for words. "You're not just bodies," she once said to a group of students. "You're seeds. You choose what you grow into." They clapped for her, not out of duty but love. Jason watched from the back of the room, tears in his eyes. She was no longer alone. Jason's letter to his parents one evening. Jason sat at his toast and he opened an old notebook. The paper was worn, the edges curled. He wrote, "Mom, Dad, we found each other. After 30 years, we're together again. You were right. Lyra is everything you said she'd be. Kind, brave, strange, beautiful. Not because she's half alien, but because she's whole. I promise to protect her. I promise to teach her what Earth forgot, and I'll learn what you tried to show the world. We're going to be okay. Thank you for not giving up on either of us." He folded the note, slid it into an old envelope, and placed it on a small altar beneath their photo. A message from the stars. That night, as the wind whispered outside and lights flickered in the sky, Jason and Lyra stood on the roof. She held a device. "This was in Father's disk," she said. "It's a beacon. It doesn't call for help, it calls for home." Jason looked at her. "Do you think anyone will answer?" "I don't know," she said softly. "But maybe. Maybe someone is out there looking for me the way you looked. For us." She pressed the button. A small blue light shot into the sky, disappearing among the stars. And somewhere, far away, someone noticed. The final choice. One morning, the Earth Council offered Lyra a seat at their highest table. "We want you to help shape Earth's future," they said. "You represent what we might become." Lyra thought for a long moment. Then she said, "I'll accept, but only if we also create a seat for the next child like me, the one not yet born, not yet found, not yet feared. They deserve to know that Earth can be kind," the council agreed. The last scene on a quiet morning, Lyra and Jason walked through the gardens again. Kids ran by, laughing, some human, some with alien features. Jason asked, "Do you ever miss the forest?" Lyra smiled. "It still lives inside me." She stopped by a small tree. It was young, its roots still new. She placed her hand on its bark. The tree glowed faintly, responding to her touch. Jason watched in silence, then whispered, "You brought your world to ours." Lyra looked up at him. "No," she said. We brought something new together. They sat beneath the tree side by side, no longer separated by time, war, or fear, just brother and sister, just family. Final words. And so, the story of Lyra, the half-alien girl who grew up alone, and Jason, the human who never stopped searching, became a story that reshaped the future of two worlds, not through power, not through violence, but through love, truth, and the unbreakable bond of family.